Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today, we are going to be making popcorn, more specifically movie theater style popcorn and a few variations. Now, when I talk about movie theater popcorn, I mean the really floofy, big pieces of popcorn with an orangey yellow hue and a very familiar, intense, buttery flavor. That's what I mean by movie theater popcorn. I know a lot of people like the extra butter oil that's put on top of the popcorn. I'm not one of those people today. I'm just going to make the very, very simple movie theater popcorn with that unmistakable flavor. We're also going to make a couple other variants because when I started researching this, I discovered some others. So we're going to attempt those as well. So there are a couple things that separate movie theater popcorn from the kind that you can make in your microwave. Number one being the kernels. I bought specific kernels for this recipe and they're called mushroom popcorn because this particular variety of popcorn kernels creates the popcorn that's mushroomy. It's big and round and poofy. It doesn't have as many of the legs that you kind of get when you buy the typical popcorn that you make in the microwave at home or the kernels that you can buy at the supermarket. We love popcorn in my house. We make it all the time, but never have I ever made the mushroom style. So this is what I procured. And another thing we need is this, Flavacol. Have you heard of Flavacol? It's made by Gold Medal. I love this very retro packaging. It reminds me of drinking milk in the cafeteria as a kid, this kind of waxy carton. And here it is, Flavacol. It's very kind of retro looking. This totally took me back right here. Do you see that where it says push up and those two little ovals inside? Yeah, that totally reminds me of lunch in elementary school. So here are the recipe amounts, but Flavacol is almost industrial looking in its packaging, and if you read down here, it definitely is intended for industrial use. You can increase your profits, it says, tried and true profit maker formula with great buttery taste. And there are portions here and they are pretty large. Flavacol contains the yellowy color along with intense saltiness and that signature artificial buttery flavor that I associate with buttered popcorn. So we're going to take these two ingredients and cook them in coconut oil. Coconut oil has a very high smoking point. We're going to be cooking these at a pretty high temperature, so it's a good choice to use. I've also seen people use canola oil, also buttered flavored canola oil as well. Before we get started cooking, a little popcorn factoid. Steph Curry is a popcorn fanatic and expert. There is a New York Times article, I'll put a link to it down below, that was from 2019, where he power ranked all the arenas in the NBA according to 5 criteria in terms of who has the best popcorn. His criteria includes crispness, butteriness, saltiness, all the great things a food taster is aware of, both texture and flavor, and presentation is also included in his power ranks as well. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link to it down below. So spoiler alert, back in 2019, the Dallas Mavericks arena ranked number 1 and the Los Angeles Lakers ranked last. But apparently that's changed quite a bit once the power rankings were published. All the arenas, from my understanding, have upped their popcorn game. And so I think the quality of the popcorn has increased thanks to Steph Curry. Alrighty, let's make some popcorn, shall we? So there are lots of different ways to make popcorn. We typically make it in a saucepan at home. There's all kinds of gadgets to make popcorns, including air poppers, microwaves, saucepans, stock pots, whatever you like to use. But today I'm going to be using my wok because I'm going to be making some kettle style popcorn as well, and they usually make them in these really deep kettles. So I thought a wok would be nice for that. Lots of room to stir and agitate the kernels. So I'm using some plain refined coconut oil, so this does not smell at all like coconut, so it won't impart any coconut flavor to the popcorn. And add a couple of tablespoons of that to my wok. Got this going on a pretty high heat. I'm going to put on some sleeves because this is going to spatter. And to the hot coconut oil, or heating coconut oil, I'm going to put a few kernels. And once those start popping, we know the oil is ready to add our kernels. So, okay, starting to pop. That means the oil's getting hot enough. Okay, now we're gonna add our kernels. And then we're adding 1 teaspoon of our Flavacol powder and giving that a stir. Keep agitating this, and as it gets close, we're gonna put our lid on. Ooh, it's starting to happen. I'm gonna shield this a little bit so I don't get it in the face and keep the kernels in the wok. You see that happening? Oh my gosh, they're flying everywhere. So magical. So once it slows down to just a couple, then we can turn off the heat entirely and our popcorn will be ready. So fast. Okay, take this off. I'm gonna dump this into another container to get it out of the hot pan. Look at the perfection of that popcorn. Very nice. Listen how crunchy that is. Gorgeous. Let's give my first taste of homemade Flavacol flavored popcorn. Itadakimasu. Delicious. The Flavacol goes a long way. I put a scant teaspoon, and that's plenty of salt for a half a cup, and has that great buttery flavor that I associate with movie theater popcorn. This style of popcorn is more substantial. Each little kernel puffs up beautifully. I mean, look at the individual kernel. See how it gets all round and poofy like that? That's beautiful. Okay, let's make another batch. Alrighty, lovelies, now we're going to be making a chocolate movie theater popcorn. Apparently some movie theaters back in the day used to sell it. I never went to the movie theater with a chocolate popcorn. I'm sure I would have tried it. There is one in Seattle, Washington that still sells it. I believe it's called Cinerama or Sif, and they still sell freshly popped chocolate glazed popcorn. Apparently you can get it half and half with regular popcorn, but when I heard about it, I said I need to try it. Now this is super simple. You just add some of this glaze pop while you're popping the popcorn, and it's supposed to make it chocolatey, which sounds fantastic. This is going to be similar to the Flavacol, but we're going to use a lot more glaze relative to the popcorn kernels, and it's going to be about an equal amount. So I'm using a half a cup of the glaze and 1 cup of popcorn. So same thing, we're going to heat up our coconut oil. I have my sleeves on. It'd be good if I had eye protection because safety first. Okay, good. I feel better now. This is why they have them in deep kettles and they're like, yeah, they're far away. It's not so close to the face. Sorry, Steph, I had to cover my arms because, you know, don't want to get wounded. Oh, here we go, here we go. This thing is smoking. Oh my God. Okay, okay, okay. Kernels. Now we're gonna add the glaze pop. Oh, I think I'm supposed to add it slowly. Oops, I didn't add it slowly. Hopefully it won't mess things up too badly. Oh boy. It smells like donuts, chocolate donuts, and it's beginning to pop. Ow! All right, I gotta face shield myself. Okay. That got on my hands. Should wear gloves. Okay, I'm gonna crack this open, allow some of the steam to escape. It's dangerous, this popcorn popping. Immediately dump. You have to be careful because there's lots of sugar in here to make sure you dump it quickly. Look at that. This is kind of stressful. Who knew? Okay, so we want to immediately toss it as best we can to get the glaze everywhere. And we have chocolate popcorn. Alrighty, lovelies. Can you hear that? My very first taste of chocolate glazed popcorn. Itadakimasu. First of all, it is a glaze. It's a sweet coating on the outside of the popcorn, very similar to caramel popcorn in terms of level of sweetness and crunch. I'm glad it recommended not to put the Flavacol in there because this does taste like it has some salt in it. The chocolate flavor is kind of light. It's more like a sweetness. kind of like honey smacks in terms of a coating, but the flavor is more like Cocoa Puffs. Do I like it more than the original? Wow. The texture is really different between the regular popcorn and the glazed popcorn. Regular popcorn has an airy kind of lighter styrofoam like crunch, while the glazed popcorn has more of a shell on it. And of course it's sweeter. But it's good. I don't know if I like the chocolate more than I would like caramel popcorn though. On that note, let's make some kettle corn. Next, we're going to be doing the sweet corn version of Pop and Glaze. And this is going to be like the kettle corn, but from watching a few kettle popping videos, it seems to be just simply sugar cooked in a kettle. So, same thing, I'm going to use my other skillet this time. And after reading the directions more carefully, you're supposed to put half the amount of glaze relative to the amount of kernels you have. So that's what I'm going to do instead of an equal amount this time. Now I've seen professionals making kettle corn and they often will have a lid that's more of a mesh lid to allow the steam to escape, or no lid at all, which makes a lot of sense to me. It keeps the popcorn crispy, which makes sense. So I'm going to try to vent the steam out while trying to protect myself as well. Okay. Add our popcorn. And slowly add our glaze, but I'm not adding all of this. The glaze seems to absorb all of the oil and then it sort of begins to melt. I don't think you really have to stir it much once it starts going. I'm holding the lid up so I can ventilate. Once it slows down, dump. Oh yeah, that was, ow! Much more successful. One hot one landed on my foot. Oh my gosh, you have to be totally covered doing this. Oh my gosh. This one is a little more successful, I think. I was a little more prepared at dumping the popcorn out. Can you hear that though? Doesn't that sound marvelous? Oh yeah, doesn't that look great? Alrighty, let's give this one a taste. It's a sweet corn. Itadakimasu. Oh, I like that. Wow. The candy coating is still hot, so it's acting like caramel. It's kind of stretchy. And it tastes like kettle corn. Sweet, salty, buttery. I like this one better than the chocolate. It tastes like corn pops. The popcorn is nice and airy underneath with a nice sweet crunchy coating on the outside. Delish. Lovelies, I am back. In my haste, I forgot a flavor. I forgot to make caramel. So quickly, we're gonna make that so I can have a taste of that as well. We know the shtick by now. We're going to heat up a couple tablespoons of coconut oil in my case. So same thing for the caramel glaze as the sugar corn glaze. We're gonna use a 1/4 cup of glaze to a 1/2 cup of kernels. Ooh, this one smells a little buttery. Ooh, it has a yellow color to it. Interesting. That's the caramel powder. Ooh, okay. Adding these in, stirring these around. And now I'm going to slowly add my caramel powder. When I made my chocolate one, I put too much and I put it in all at once. So don't do that. This definitely smells more buttery. I like it. More like the Flavacol. Starting to see some spattering. Okay. Turning down the heat just a little bit. Leaving the lid on to shield myself, but not putting it down completely because we want to allow the steam to escape. All right, once it starts to slow down, all right, I'm gonna dump while it is hot, I'm gonna stir and disperse to try to get the caramel all over the popcorn. This does make a mess. And I can see why doing it in a big pot or big kettle is useful, because you can really distribute everything and coat everything. Alrighty, so here is the caramel popcorn. And let's give this one a taste. This looks great. There's caramel. Or caramel. Do you say caramel or caramel? I usually say caramel. Looks pretty good though, huh? Itadakimasu. Nah. I would have loved this as a kid. It tastes like Cracker Jacks. Exactly. Caramelly, sweet, and a little bit buttery without having any true butter in there at all. Delicious. I think of the 3 flavors I got, I liked the caramel the best. Then it would be the sweet corn and then chocolate, sadly last. There are other flavors. There's a pink one and a blue one. I think it's a raspberry flavor and a cherry flavor, which I wasn't really interested in. They do make a more striking, colorful popcorn. If you're going to make a rainbow popcorn, that's the way to go. But I wasn't really interested in those flavors, but alrighty, lovelies, that's how you can make industrial style popcorn at home. Perfect for a tailgate party, perfect for a fundraiser, cookout. Lots of entertaining action happening and a little treat. Alright, my loves, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodoo, take care. Bye! I almost forgot that this popcorn would look super cute in these little baggies. Just bag them up in this baggie like this. How stinking cute. Perfect for your little fundraiser, right? A little party. Oh my gosh, I have to make so much more popcorn, so look at these bags.